Emotion is a big part of television. When you're interviewing somebody, particularly a politician, you want to break through the veneer and not just get the scripted persona, the talking points. You want to find out what that person is really like, and if they show some emotion, that draws the audience in. And there was a lot of chatter after Hillary Clinton did the interview with ABC's David Muir, not only because she finally apologized for the email mess, but because she kind of choked up when she talked about her mother and how her late mother has inspired her to keep at it now in her second presidential campaign. And it almost seems like, and I wonder if this is more true when women are being interviewed, that that's what the audience wants, it's what the voters want. They want to see the real person and not the carefully controlled person, although everybody in public life can't completely be themselves in front of a television camera, including television anchors. But having just watched Joe Biden's remarkable sit-down with Stephen Colbert, it's one of the most emotional things I've ever seen on television. Now, whether you like or don't like Joe Biden, or think he'd be a good president, or think he shouldn't run, or think he hasn't been a good vice president, he certainly sometimes has a tendency to have his mouth run away with him. He's a real person. He doesn't have the authenticity problem. He kind of wears his emotions on his sleeve. Every time I've bumped into him, he's either backslapping or sharing stories, and he just likes to connect to people. And the way in which he talked about the death of his late son, Beau Biden, and how it has affected him and his family, and the pain that he's been through, even going back to when he lost his wife and another child, his first wife, many years ago, right after he'd been elected to the Senate. This guy was not holding back. And so when he said, I don't know if I have the energy and the emotional wherewithal and the passion to run for president, you knew that this was not some scripted line. I mean, he was speaking from the heart. But what was truly remarkable was this was a late night show, and this was Stephen Colbert, a professional comedian, a guy who's basically paid to make people laugh. And the deal is when presidential candidates go on these late night shows, it is generally you tell a couple of funny lines, you tell a couple of amusing anecdotes, you talk a little policy. Everything is kind of kept light. That didn't happen here. I mean, Colbert, for all of his humor, conducted and led Biden into all this emotional talk. And Colbert himself, who lost a parent when he was young and who lost a sibling when he was young, talked about himself in an emotional way, and the two just seemed to feed off each other. And I think for a guy just starting his first week, and whether you like Colbert, and he makes no secret, by the way, that he is a liberal. He did that at Comedy Central, and he did it in embracing Joe Biden. I mean, he was perfectly fair to Jeb Bush, and they had a nice time. But Biden, he practically urged him to run for president. But putting the politics aside, the way in which Colbert revealed his emotions, and that encouraged Joe Biden to reveal his emotions, made for just a remarkable encounter, the kind you don't usually see at any hour on the television dial. And so for people who like that sort of thing, I think they saw the real Joe Biden. And for people who are trying to decide, should I watch Kimmel, should I watch Fallon, should I watch Colbert, I think they learned something about Stephen Colbert as well.